Today on American Sports Cavalcade, the cars of NASCAR's Southwest Tour take on the fastest one-mile track in the world, Phoenix International Raceway. Historically, it's been a pretty sight. Pretty darn scary. It's the last race. National television coverage. Sponsors to keep or acquire. Let's just say, as they did in the Old West, there ain't room in this desert for 42 starters. And soon, they'll start taking each other out. Buckle up, helmet on. I'm talking about you folks at home. This one will get wild. TNN Motorsports presents American Sports Cavalcade coverage of the GM Goodwrench Delco Battery 300 from Phoenix International Raceway in Phoenix, Arizona, featuring the cars of NASCAR Southwest Tour. With the action about ready to get underway, let's join Mike Joy. Michael?
This is the Chevy Lumina of Kirk Rogers from Spokane, Washington. It's on the pole here at Phoenix International Raceway at a speed equal to that the Winston Cup cars run here. This Ford Thunderbird belongs to Rick Crawford out of Mobile, Alabama. He is the outside pole sitter for today's race. But the big story is with the man who qualified third. Let's go trackside, Glenn Jarrett.
Well, thanks, Mike. Scott Henson did qualify his Oldsmobile in third, but when they pull out of here on the parade lap, he won't be in third anymore. A rules infraction is going to send him to the rear of the field. Scott, what happened?
Well, they do such a good job at teching. We had some fuel that we ran last week was still in the fuel cell, and we were 0.002% off on the fuel gravity deal, and you know, it just didn't pass their numbers, so we got to go to the back of the field and start this.
Well, you've had a lot of success here at this racetrack, but you got to use a little patience to get through this thing today.
Sure do. You know, there's a lot of cars out here. It's a long race. Just going to stay in the lead group here and just work our way through. When the pit stop comes, you know, I think we got a little bit of an advantage there because these guys don't do a lot of pit stop racing, so we'll be all right. You know, we're looking for a good day here.
Okay, good luck. We'll keep an eye on him. This will be interesting. Ralph is standing by with a familiar face on the Southwest Tour.
His name is Ron Esau, and he is the gentleman who is driving this brand new chassis here this weekend at Phoenix International Raceway. Now, Ron, you're starting 31st way back in things. How hard can you charge early on?
We're going to have to take this Alpine Metals Oldsmobile and push it pretty hard not to get lapped and hope the pit stops and other things can help us get to the front.
Mike, he's provided us quite a lot of excitement over the years, and maybe he'll do it again today.
Well, thanks, Ralph, and hello, everyone. It's a great day for racing here at Phoenix International and for NASCAR's Featherlite Southwest Tour. Well, this is their Super Bowl, their Daytona, and their season-ending event. It's also been an action-packed one. Last year's race showed a record 12 caution flags, and in this race's 5-year history, there have never been less than 11 yellow flags. That may change today, and for more, let's go to my broadcast colleagues Neil Bonnet and Buddy Baker. They spoke earlier to some of the folks involved in this series and took a closer look at some of the cars. First, here's Neil.
If you'll recall, this race last year was nothing but a big crash fest. Right here where you're looking off turn 4s, losing control, bounce off that outside wall, clogged this entire front straightaway. But there's been a major change at the speedway. This entire surface has been redone, paved totally around it. Hopefully they're a little more grip off this corner, not lose control. But guess what? They're going to be going a lot faster in that corner down there. Going to have to see if they can make with that big speed and hold on this racetrack. We'll just have to see what happens. Let's go down to Buddy Baker.
Well, Neil, the car we're talking about is your basic short track car. Fiberglass body, same cubic inch as Winston Cup car, but they have to run a 9-to-1 compression motor, 390 carburetor. The big difference is they're 2,950 pounds with the driver, much lighter than a Winston Cup car. That gets them around the racetrack almost as fast as a Winston Cup car. But they have coilovers and quick change rear ends, a lot of features on these cars strictly for short track. But when they get on the Phoenix International Raceway, these cars are mighty wormy, and they have to watch what they're doing all day.
Hence last year's record 12 caution flags, Buddy. Ron Hornaday Jr. has already clinched the series championship coming into this final event. It's his second title in a row. Last year he won it in dramatic fashion, pushing his car across the finish line to ensure a sufficient point margin to win his first of what are now 2 championships. He's a familiar face on the West Coast, but there are a couple familiar nationally known drivers as well. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, Winston Cup star Ken Schrader finds himself buried way back in 26th position, but Ken, you've got a fast car.
The car was real fast the other day, and we had a little problem before we qualified, and then the driver didn't do real good qualifying. So we're back here, but it's running good.
Well, you've had a lot of experience on this racetrack, probably more than anybody here. Just got to use a little patience to get up through there?
Yeah, you know, we've had a lot of crashes in this race the last couple of years, so we'll just use a little patience and let them get spread out a little bit, then we'll see what we can do.
Okay, best of luck to you. And there's another familiar face standing by with Ralph Shaheen.
Starting 17th this afternoon is the beautiful black entry that belongs to Dick Trickle. Now, Dick, you're starting middle of pack today. How hard is it to work through traffic here at Phoenix?
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, when you come out west here, these Southwest boys get better and better every year. I've had the fortune of winning this race twice. We qualified 17th this time, and I tell you what, you know, I expect that we're going to run well, but nobody's going to give this race to me, I'll tell you that.
But he knows how to take it away from a few, too, Mike. Thanks, Dick.
Representing Kachina Cadillac, President of the Arizona GM Dealers Parts Managers Club, John Jenkins.
Where you go start?
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Right there.
And as they fire up on pit road, let's have a look at the starting grid for today's race. Kirk Rogers, Chevy Lumina. The Northwest Tour champions on the pole. Rick Crawford, who finished third here last year, outside. Scott Hansen and Brett Bell, three-time U.S. National Go-Kart champ. Brian Germoni, 90 Rookie of the Year, and Ron Hornaday, the champion. Doug George, who won the Copper Classic here in February, and Tom Hubert. Danny Crafton finished second here in 91, and Toby Butler, the 87 Northwest champ. Terry Henry and Kevin Quesnell, last year's Rookie of the Year in the Northwest. Steve Portengay and Jim Engelbright, the rookie. Kelly Tanner and Dan Press, 14-time Southwest winner. Dick Trickle, two-time winner of this race, and Bruce Yackey, who was second at Las Vegas. Darrell Lamore from Glendale, and Will Harper, former Hollywood stuntman. Ernie Cope, that's Derek's cousin, and Roy Tester, runner-up at Tucson. Kevin Sawinski, former Wisconsin champ, and Ken Boyd from Stockton. Craig Rodman and Kenny Schrader. Then Mark Reed and John Dillon, the 90 Northwest champ. Lance Hooper was third at Eureka this year, and Brian Brown makes his seventh start here. Ron Esau, the 86 champion, and Dale Williams, a three-race winning rookie. Keith Spangler, sixth in the points. Doug McCone, the 85 racing national champ. Bob Lyon and Doug Reno, the Saugus champion. Tom Switman, this year's Northwest Rookie of the Year. And Pete Harding will not start, so Bo Lemler moves up. Phil Perry, Ron Peterson, and Ron Eaton. John Dillon's car also will not start and sitting behind the pit wall. And we'll be back to Phoenix International Raceway after this. One lap and we'll go racing here at Phoenix International. The GM Goodwrench Delco Battery 300. Number 53. Advancing to the rear, Scott Hansen found a trace of a non-approved fuel in his fuel cell. That car is owned by Jerry Gunderman, who owned the Ford Thunderbird Mark Martin drove in Winston Cup racing in 1986. And let's see if that Oldsmobile can forge its way to the front. Scott, runner-up here in the 1990 race.
It's a nice sponsor there, World of Maps. He's going to need one to get to the front.
He's going to need one to find the front row from there. Dick Trickle getting in his number 98 Chevy. Or excuse me, that's a Ford, that one. And here they are in the back straightaway getting ready for their first 182 laps, 186 laps, 42 cars in the field. Ron Hornaday set the record, and again, never less than 11 cautions in this race. That's why the race record's only 83 miles an hour.
You know, hopefully the track's a little better and there won't be those cautions, but it could create some with the speeds.
New surface, we're about to test it. Green flag. Down the front straightaway is Rick Crawford in the Circle Bar Motel Ford from the outside pole. There's Hansen way at the back of the field, slow getting up to speed, or perhaps just letting things shake out on this first lap.
Yeah, he's starting to make his moves now. You can see he just waited to make sure everybody didn't mess up in that corner.
And off turn 4 to lead the first lap, Rick Crawford.
We got the black flag waving for the number 1 car. He jumped to the inside past before they got the start finish line, so he'll be coming in.
Craig Rodman of Redding, California in a Chevrolet. Dick Trickle on the move. He's positioned in about 18th position right now. And here's Hansen beginning to make his move as he goes past Ron Peterson.
Neil, that car is handling like it's on a string. Look at him come up through there.
Yeah, he's dealing with some cars. He's a good bit quicker, but he's still going to have to be careful. I almost wondered if he was being too careful with that start. He let him get away from him a little bit. Look here, car going real wide out in that rosin out there. Whoa, hang on.
Well, that's just what some of the drivers said, that if you got the least little bit out of the groove, away you'd go. Nice save for Ron Peterson of San Bernardino.
I think he'll regroup and try that again.
Neil, that's exactly what we say when we're driving these things. They get loose like that. You go, whoa.
I said worse before.
Front 4 single file. Crawford at the head of the pack.
Looks like Brett Bell really moved in the 56 car, the red car behind him. Saw Crawford get a good jump. That 56 is laying right with him.
And in third, Kirk Rogers, the pole sitter, has settled into the third spot. Stop and go penalty on Rodman's car. You see him right side of the screen coming back out on the track.
I was watching. He jumped the start. It looked like he beat a guy by about a half a car length, and it really cost him a lap now. Got another car on the wall.
And that's Hansen.
Yeah.
He's bounced off the wall pretty good in turn number 2. No caution, but he hit it hard enough. Well, let's see how that thing goes into turn 3. He may stay out.
Mike, they said he tried to go around some of that lap traffic on the outside and couldn't keep it and got out from under him.
Neil, I don't see any smoke or anything. Maybe just a little bit of body work here.
He had her right up against the fence.
I'll show you what happened.
Here he is going around some of those lap cars.
Well, these are lead lap cars, but he's moving up from the back.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the slower cars. He gets that right rear out of that loose stuff. Got the front wheels cranked all the way to the right. Gets it back. I don't know if he got the fence.
No.
I think he was just flirting with it. That was a lot of that dust flying up.
No mark on the right side of the car, so he may have avoided contact with the wall there.
Why is it lap cars? They're just a lot slower with him being the pole setter.
What he's waiting on now is all his hair to get back down inside that helmet and lay back down.
I think you're right, buddy.
He says, I think I'll go back to plan 1, slow approach to the front.
Right. Let's go back up front where Crawford leads Brett Bell. And in 4th place, there's the 30 car of Tom Hubert with a challenge from the series champion Ron Hornaday. That's the 4th and 5th place fight. Here's 6th and 7th on back. There's the 1 car a lap down, just a little bit up in the groove outside of Toby Butler's number 38.
You see a lot of those cars when they enter the corner, that little flash of flame out the tailpipes. The 9-to-1 compression motors do that. You'll hear them backfiring. You'll see that little flicker of flame come out of the tailpipes. It's just a characteristic of that type engine.
Neil, is that because you're putting so much of a fuel air mixture in there with so little compression it doesn't all get burned?
The big compression motors, when it ignites, it burns every drop of fuel. These 9-to-1s actually have a flame in the tailpipe. There's excess fuel coming out the exhaust system. Tate Crawford had a good run here last year. Like you said, finished 3rd. Jumped right out front. 56 car staying right on him, though.
Brett Bell, in fact, closing that gap. And here's Hansen continuing on the move. Tom Sweatman from Washington.
I think Hansen decided to make his passes on the bottom of the racetrack instead of on the outside also.
The old 8 wheels corner better than 4 theory. Yep.
Now, down the back straightaway, you can see that car close in and then kind of give way. There's a little turn in the back straightaway here, and it's real difficult to pass on the inside of the car in front of you. Don't know you're coming.
A little contact between Ian Sweatman as they come down the front straightaway. The number 11 car takes his half right out of the middle.
What's the tough? He's wanting to use that inside lane. You saw him get totally down off the racetrack. Well, that's fine, but you can't get a bite up off of that corner, and he couldn't make that pass. He's going to pass some of these guys. He's going to have to try that outside, and it seems pretty slick out there.
Boy, Hansen having a tough time. And in the wall is the 30 of Tom Hubert.
We heard some concern before the race that it might be slippery on that outside. If there's that flame in that tailpipe, when he cranks it, it'll go away. There it went.
That was the 4th place car.
Good call, Neil.
It's the Red Baron Pizza Pontiac. And it was in 4th place.
Now that was just raw fuel in the exhaust itself, and it started burning because of the heat of the exhaust pipe. And then when he cranked it up, of course, it blew across there.
Back to right up the driver's side, right up on the wall.
Right between turns 1 and 2.
Looks like some of the fears of stepping out of that line might be there to get just, you see that black area on the track. As soon as you get in that white stuff, it seems like they're taking a little bit of a ride.
Again, it's a new racing surface here at Phoenix, but they put rosin on it, trying to help cure in that new asphalt. But those higher grooves, the drivers have not had much running time in. So we'll have a look at the top 10 as they're running at Phoenix under this first caution flag of the day. Rick Crawford up in the front. And we'll be back to Phoenix after this. We are back at Phoenix International Raceway and the GM Goodwrench Delco Battery 300. Here's Scott Hansen, who has not made much advance through the field. He is 34th after starting scratch 42nd. Pace car stretches out the field just a bit. And we're back to green. Rick Crawford from Alabama had a long tow to get here. Looking for a lot of money to take home. He is the leader. Brett Bell in the Wonder Bar Ford in second. Challenge for third. Hornaday, the yellow car on the inside, the series champion last year and this. Trying to take third away from pole sitter Kurt Rogers. And way back here, Schrader and Trickle. As Trickle predicted, Kenny moves up a spot.
Boy, Schrader's car is working on the outside. That's the first car we've seen that really gets around the outside well.
Yeah, he doesn't hesitate to step out there on that outside line. Here's the tough part down in 1 and 2. He made it in 3 and 4. Here's where we've seen some cars have a problem. Look, the car in front of him can't go, but he can.
That's Bruce Yackey from Colorado on the bottom. And Schrader trying to work the high side and move up with Jim Englebright. Englebright, the rookie from Fairfield, California. That number 20 car has won 2 races this year.
Mike, this is when a driver really has to show a lot of patience because the car in front of him is running as hard as they possibly can, but they were holding Kenny up. He just had to have patience and let it sort itself out.
So Englebright moves up past the 12 car. Here comes Schrader and Trickle, the black 98 on the outside.
Schrader going that outside. He likes that outside. They will get his car to work out there.
Meanwhile, at the back, Scott Hansen is still mired in traffic. He did get past Tom Sweatman, the number 11 car on the restart. But heavy, heavy traffic impeding his march toward the front.
It looks like that spin when he tried the outside, it really got him thinking inside all the time. You might have to go ahead and try that outside again to get around these cars, this big pack.
Number 10, Ernie Colt, cousin of the former Daytona 500 winner, Derek. Hansen goes past. Long way to go. And he's running on the track about half a lap behind the race leader. Up front, challenge for the lead. Brett Bell had a look at it, but could not put away Rick Crawford. Crawford won the Mobile, Alabama track championship in 81, 82, and 84. Twice a runner-up in the All-Pro standings, and he's leading this race in the number 4.
Okay, Mike, the line that Crawford is running, he runs a little bit higher line than some of the guys, and he leaves that inside lane open, and it always looks like you can make a move on him, but it's hard to do. 21 car slowing down the back straightaway.
That's Dan Press going past Kevin Quisnell in the 21. Ernie Colt to pit road. As you watch Dan Press. Is that the Dan Press builds the rear ends you had so much luck with?
Yeah, he builds a locker type rear end to use on short track racing. A lot of success with a lot of short track guys at home using it. The Cope car's on pit road with the hood up, so he's got more than minor problems.
Good battle up front here. Rod Hornaday in yellow has caught the leaders. You see Crawford running the Harry Gant groove up there. Harry about wore that groove out at Rockingham.
Let me tell you what, that line is good
at this place. When he runs out there, he lets the car go out, but he gets a good run off of the corner. See the 56 car trying that, Brett Bell trying that inside lane on him. He might have got it out there too far that time.
Neil, they're starting to do exactly what you said. People are starting to test this outside, and they're knocking a groove out there, and pretty soon they'll be able to run 2 or 3 abreast through the corners.
Boy, Crawford's car, something seems to happen all, but he lost a lot of ground in that one lap.
They just dropped the cylinder in the Coke car out there.
Yeah, they've taken Ernie Cope behind the wall. Brett Bell is the new leader of this race out of Napa, California. Rick Martindale's Wonder Bar Racing Ford. Warren Kelly's the crew chief.
Hornaday looks like he's ready to get up there and mix it up a little bit now in the 97.
And what a difference from last year. Hornaday crashing right at the end of the race, climbed out of his car, pushed it across the line to make sure he'd have enough points to clinch the series championship. He did. This year, he comes in here to Phoenix with the title all wrapped up. Turn 2, back straightaway. Phoenix is a little bit of a flat tri-oval, but the tri-oval part's on the back side. After you come out of turn number 2, you keep turning the car for quite a while, and it's about midway down the back straightaway that it finally straightens out.
I'll tell you what, the way this track's laid out, you come off turn 2 and just cut the corner across. So it's not that much turn, but like you say, Mike, you're constantly working that wheel through there. There's the 53 car. He's starting to make his move to the front now. Had that trouble early, moved back to Scott Hansen, spun. Got real high, but here he comes now. He's passed a lot of cars the last few laps.
Still got a long way to go, though. Hansen's in 25th position. We'll have more of the GM Goodwrench Delco Battery 300 after this. Welcome back to Phoenix International Raceway and the NASCAR Southwest Tour Goodwrench 300. Hornaday's in trouble.
Yeah, he just broke one down the back straightaway.
Coasting down on the apron, second place car out of the race. All right, Hansen moves around the 46 of Danny Crafton.
There's Hornaday coming in. He's done at turn 3, he's coasting in.
Well, if he stopped, it would be the break of the century for Scott Hansen, but it looks like Hornaday is going to make it to pit road.
If you don't keep that thing below that yellow line, somebody will take the side off. He got out there a little bit and they got close.
Yep. No caution flag. Dick Trickle goes a lap down as Hornaday comes to the attention of Danny Grill and Steve Mestroil and crew. All right, the red car is your race leader, Brett Bell from Napa, California, and Scott Hansen, number 3 qualifier, just in front.
Neil, you don't think he knows he's there, do you?
I would say he's kind of got the whip out. He's going.
The NASCAR's had a look at it. As far as they're concerned, Hansen is as quick as Bell, so the passing flag is not out for Hansen at the moment. If it appears he's holding up the leader, they'll put the blue flag out.
But you got to keep in mind, there it goes to the inside and try to get inside. You got to keep in mind that yellow and blue passing flag is strictly a courtesy flag. It's not mandatory. It's courtesy, but you get paid back.
But if you don't use courtesy, Miss Manners will send you to the penalty box.
Exactly right. Sometimes when your face get lapped, you don't want to be too courteous.
Right.
There's Crawford right back in the middle of it now.
Yep, the blue number 4 car. That's the second place car now that Hornaday has the hood up on pit road.
Rogers got held up in that traffic. Oh, look at the smoke right there in front of him going down in that corner.
That looked like the body might have been rubbing on the left rear tire going into that corner.
Here's Hansen. He's trapped again. There he goes. Now, if he can thread the needle right here and get in these guys, get up under him, and get him some room on the leaders trying to lap him.
Whoa, just shoves that 20 car.
Look at Crawford. Got shoved out there, that loose stuff.
Yep, and the 20 car was trying to slow to pit road and almost made a mess of the whole thing. Let's check with Glenn.
Well, we're in Hansen's pit. You're looking at Howie Leto. He's the crew chief, and boy, they're really keeping an eye on him. Howie, he got caught in that traffic back there, and he's just on the verge of getting lapped. Can he hold him off?
Well, he's been doing it for the last bunch of laps now. Traffic really hurt us. There was a bunch of guys running side by side. We couldn't get through, and that 56 car is running real well. So hopefully we'll get a yellow here shortly. It'll really help us out.
Okay, they're very hopeful here, looking for a caution flag, Ralph.
Glenn, whenever you burn your ignition wires together, it is not a good sign for your motor. motor, and that is a problem for Ron Hornaday Jr. The ignition wires have burned together. His engine just quit on him. The crew is working on it and changing right side tires.
So they'll try to put the 92 and 93 champ back out there. Hansen in 53. Trying to keep from going a lap down, and he's in that car saying, please let there be a caution and don't let it be us. That would allow him to come all the way around the racetrack behind the leader for the restart.
The only thing about that, when you wish for a caution, a lot of times, you're it. So you just kind of wish and don't wish.
Right.
I believe Brett Bell may be just a little bit quicker, but he just can't make the pass right at the moment. As I say that, he comes side up.
Yeah, but he's going to use this 12 car here as something to hold him back, I believe. Well, I don't know. He might clear him before he gets there.
Bruce Yager is at 12. And Bell, make no mistake, he needs to put Hansen a lap down because that white car is capable of winning this race. If Hansen can dump him a lap, that'll make a big difference.
That was a break right there. He got about a 4-car length advantage just by that one car holding him up a little off the corner there.
One thing to keep in mind, too, and you saw that graphic, 12 cars in the lead lap. As he's running this hard, he's on the verge. He's lapping other cars.
Right.
So the harder he runs right now, he's working his way on up to the front.
And if he can maintain that little advantage, you won't see that blue flag. Here's Ralph.
Mike, tire stagger is the difference in size of your tire from one side of the car to the other. That's the biggest problem Brett Bell has right now. You see, his crew chief, Dave Taylor, who normally works on the ASA circuit, is used to having a tire specialist. He'd have to mess with tire stagger. Here, he has to, and he's not real sure what to do with this car as far as setting up the tire stagger. So, Buddy Baker, if you had to guess, what do you do?
Well, I tell you, I wouldn't do a whole lot to that race car. It looks like a dominant car right now, and he's closing back in right now. I mean, this car is doing everything I would want it to do.
Yeah, I believe, buddy, I believe I'd say, give me a set pretty close to what we started with. Let's try it again.
There's Schrader moving up in 52, and Toby Butler in
yellow
38.
flag.
Now, let's see if they beat him back to the line. This is critical for Hansen to get back to the line first.
All right, they do not in this series race back to the line.
So he's got it, okay.
When the caution comes out and you go back to the last scored lap under green, the lineup freezes at that moment. They do not race back to green. Caution is out for one car that was limping very slowly down the straightaway.
The car was Dan Press, number 25, and he got into something with the left rear quarter. I don't know whether we have it or not. You see it all gnarled up there.
That's one of those panels that comes off. that went off.
Part way.
And the problem he's got there, looks like the fueling area, it might still be on there. It's where they fuel the car.
Might have to go in the trunk to fill it up.
Might have to go to the service station with a hose. It looks bad there. That section's missing.
Press stays out on the racetrack until they catch up behind the safety car. Then everybody will pit. This is only the second caution of the day. It comes out at lap 57 for Dan Press. Out of Vader, Washington.
Why would you dare say only when we normally have 10 by now?
That's first Phoenix start for Dan Press since 1989. And the two leaders will pit. The field under caution once again here at Phoenix. We'll be right back. The GM Goodwrench Delco Battery 300. Stay with us. We are back at Phoenix International Raceway and the GM Goodwrench Delco Battery 300. Look at this crowd. This race is part of a doubleheader weekend. There are more people in attendance here today than they had here at Phoenix for the annual IndyCar race.
I want to tell you what's amazing about this thing of Hansen. You see the fire fly out the bottom of his race car. The exhaust systems on these cars usually goes out the left or right side of the car, but Hansen, as he goes in the corner, it looks like the flames are directly up under the rear end housing. And usually they let that exhaust system out the right or left side. The thing does it when it goes down the corner and when it rolls out the throttle, you see a big flame out the rear of the car. Well, don't do it. I don't care. I was kidding anyway.
Take you back through the field and show you where your favorite driver is running at 80 laps. Been a tough day for series champ Ron Hornaday. He's been in and out of the pits a couple of times under green. Once a lengthy stop to change ignition wires. The man you're watching is in third, and here's Toby Butler. Butler was in 11th place. He had just gone a lap down. He may have a flat tire. Let's go to Glenn.
Well, they've gone to the left side. Butler has been complaining of tire problems since they changed right sides under that caution. He said the car picked up a really bad vibration, so he had to come in and change the left side tires now. But I don't know. I'm looking at them as they take them off. I don't see a problem. I thought one of them might be blistered. That's not the case. He really started falling back and really off the pace, so I think they've got another problem other than just left side tires. We'll keep an eye on it.
Tony Butler won the 1987 Northwest Tour Championship. Rolls back out.
One reason these guys are concerned about that vibration at drivers' meeting, the thing they stressed to a lot of these guys that run strictly short track races, that when you feel a vibration come in, it's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. So I think that extra caution is thrown in their direction. They really pay attention to it.
Watching Brett Bell, the second place car. Let's go to the pits. Here's Ralph.
Brett Bell has purposely given up the lead. They want to try to save the left rear tire. As you know, you can only change 2 tires under a caution here with the Southwest Tour. They've changed right side tires, and they want to make sure that they save the left rear. They felt that they didn't need to run as hard as Rick Crawford was pressuring them, so they let him by, feeling that they can save that tire and go after him.
Thanks, Roberts. Report of possible brake trouble on Schrader's car. Now here is Kenny Schrader. Last time by, there was a lot of smoke from the left front of Schrader's car down in turn 1. There it is.
I'll tell you what usually happens there. It blows an O-ring out of a caliper, and that's brake fluid blowing out of the O-ring, and one of the rotor just smoking. So he's lost the brakes. He's lost the O-rings out of brakes.
And one car up in smoke coming down the front straightaway. Caution is out.
They're spinning in the oil behind him.
Yep.
3 cars, 4 cars, 5. They're still turning around that corner.
Number 2, Mark Reed, was the first car to bring out the caution, and Doug George is up there in it, the 4th place car. That's the blue car, number 37.
When he blew that motor, he dropped a lot of oil. Boy, those guys behind him went for a ride.
And up in turn number 1, Darrell Lamore.
That was totally unrelated to what happened coming off turn 4, because that was oil in the other end.
Well, he has messed up the left side of that car.
See, there he's lost the car down in the bottom.
Yep.
Backs it up in the wall. Woo. And there's some of those tear-off pieces that fell back down.
Let's go back up to turn 4.
Okay, watch this. He's going to blow right here, and this guy's dumping oil all over the racetrack. If you watch behind him, you're going to see these other drivers run into that oil. Watch him coming in here. They're going to cross this oil path in just a second. We've got some cars coming in. He's pulling down. There they go. They're sideways back there in that oil. Backed it up in the outside wall.
07 is Lance Hooper. And now here's Doug George coming into it.
And there's some more got sideways that didn't go ahead and crash. They were sideways coming in there. Look at this car sideways in the oil.
So there's Mark Reed's car sitting. That's the car that lost the engine to bring out the caution. We're on to the 3rd caution of the day here at Phoenix International Raceway. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Goodwrench 300. I'm Mike Joy with Neil Bonnet and Buddy Baker. Glenn Jarrett and Ralph Shaheen are on pit road today. The race leader is Scott Hansen out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, in the number 53 Wide World of Maps Oldsmobile. He has mapped and plotted his way to the front after starting this race last. Minute and 40-second pit stop on Ken Schrader. He will stay 1 lap down. He's back on track as we go to green. They restart here on this tour in interesting fashion. These cars up front are not on the lead lap. They pretty much start the way they come off pit road. Single file. And Brett Bell is in trouble. Out of turn number 2, the 2nd place car has broken.
Schrader also called on radio, said he has brakes now, but he's got a long way to go.
A lap. And the new leader is number 4, Rick Crawford.
I'll tell you what happened. Bell's picking up speed again now. He rode down the back straightaway really slow, and now he's picking up speed. He might have had some ignition and switched it over.
But he is 3/4 of a lap behind the leader in what has been a very topsy-turvy race here.
See Crawford coming. See the guy giving the pullover flag like you're talking about, Mike. These leaders have to work traffic on these restarts.
Yeah, that's very different from what we see in East Coast racing, where the cars line up double file. A lot of smoke out of one car and one, and another save. Anytime anybody gets up out of the groove, there's a lot of smoke down there from that rosin. Roy Tester's car, as we watch first and second place.
I don't know what the problem was with Bill while ago, but now he looks like he's back up to speed.
Let's find out from Ralph.
Dave Taylor's the crew chief for Brett Bell. Dave, what did he say to you on the radio? What happened to the car?
He said he just stepped on the gas on the Wonder-Bar Ford there, and it just wouldn't go. Whether we had the carburetor load up or plug spout, it seems to be back up to speed now. We're in good shape yet. We're planning on 2 more stops before the end of this thing. The tires are wearing pretty decent. The Hoosiers are holding up for us. And I think Brett's doing a wonderful job with this Wonder-Bar Ford. Looking for a good finish.
Remember, this car led a good portion of the race so far. They felt they would be happy to come out of here with a top 10 finish. A caution would put him right back in the thick of things. Hansen trying to move past Steve Fortengay. He is 1.3 seconds behind Rick Crawford. Trouble. One car hard in the wall. Is that Trickle? No, it's the number 1 car, Craig Rodman of Redding, California. Driving his own Chevy Lumina, the Advantage Memory Chevrolet.
So to give Brett Bell that chance to close that gap back up that he lost.
And spinning was Jim Engelbright, number 20, and Doug Reno of Canoga Park, California, the number 9. So that's a big break for Brett Bell, who will come all the way around on the lead lap.
And also for Schrader, this pulls him back up one of the laps. He was about to go 2 laps down, so this will give him a chance to maybe make up a lap here.
There's the number 1 of Rodman. See what happened.
Okay, he's in trouble here. He wiggles. He almost gets into the car on the outside there. They make a little contact there, and he spins around and goes up. Whoever's in this outside car did a great job of missing him.
That was Trickle.
There was those other 2 cars spinning on the apron down, going through the grass.
Now that's the black car is Dick Trickle on the right. That's Ernie Cope in the white car.
Right about here, you're kind of at the mercy of the court. You just wait and see what happens here.
I've been there. It hurts.
Boy, it looked like Trickle got into that wall. He bounced her off a couple times up there. There's the other cars going down across the bottom.
And Scott Hansen will be one of the cars to pit under this caution. Second place car.
Hansen pits way around pit road. Looks like he misses pit road. He goes so far down there.
Dick Trickle, Brett Bell, and Ken Schrader also pitting. Now, this car was just in the pits 10 laps ago, but remember, you're allowed 2 tires per caution flag. He got lefts last time and now gets rights. Brett Bell will get right side tires, and here's Kenny Schrader in the pit.
Neil, they don't have that problem fixed. Did you hear that left front brake? It's squealing when he come in just then.
Yeah, now they're working on right, so they got to get a set of tires on him because they spent all the other time working on the left side. He needs those rights on that car.
14-second stop for Schrader. He is 1 lap down. Stay with us. We'll be right back with the restart of the NASCAR Southwest Tour Goodwrench 300. Getting set to go back to green here at Phoenix. At the front of the pack, number 4, Rick Crawford out of Alabama in a Thunderbird. And now the number 99 of Kirk Rogers, the pole sitter, moves back up into 2nd place. Number 5, Brian Germoni from Sebastopol, California, in a Chevy is 3rd, and 4th is the 55-year-old rookie Dale Williams. Doug George in the blue car. Mid-pack moves on the yellow 55 for 4th. Nothing there. As we're back under green.
You know, Neil, this Rick Crawford acts like maybe the crew might have told him, if you don't win, you walk home.
It'll make that ride a lot shorter back to Alabama if he wins it, I promise you that. Kirk Rogers has to go around the outside to look for 2nd place here. He's no one in between him now.
That's Rogers at 99. And let's go back to the 4th place battle for Dale Williams trying to fend off Doug George. That's Williams in the yellow 89. And Doug George moving past. 72 is the next car, 6th place. Terry Henry out of Bakersfield. picks up a spot there in 72. He moves up to 5th. Ken Schrader moving up from the back. He and Hansen pitted. There's Hansen in 53 taking the measure of traffic. Heavy traffic. Toby Butler just ahead.
Schrader's crew chief was talking about these single file restarts really hurt. If he could have pulled up that inside line like they do back home, well, then he'd had a chance to get it back. He's having to work a lot of traffic.
It's Hansen and Schrader. Hansen in 53. Tiptoes into the corner there just a little.
Yeah, I'm just saying if he's checking those brakes, make sure he's got the thing like he needs to. Doesn't have a whole lot of time to tiptoe.
No, the car on the outside is Toby Butler. Jim Van Cleve Ford. Woo!
Yeah, me and Buddy wooed at the same time. Hansen slid up a little bit, got into that 38 car.
At that spot on the racetrack, that'd have been a little more in casual contact, too.
Now Butler is 2 laps down in 38.
Schrader's one of these guys to do something.
Right.
Looks like Hansen's making that move on the inside. Schrader's jumping in and go with him.
And that number 8 car way up high was battling Butler for 14th spot. That's Ron Peterson.
Got moved on that outside. Got a taste of what that's like.
And up front, the pole sitter goes back to the front for the first time today since the start of this race, Kurt Rogers. That's only the 6th lead change today, and it's the first time that Rogers has led.
I'll tell you what, the last time we looked at these guys, that 4 car had a big lead. Rogers ran him down.
It was Crawford who took the lead on the opening green flag of the race from Rogers.
Neil, I was watching Crawford's car through the corner there, and it looks like it won't stay on the bottom of the racetrack like it would the first part of the race here. He might have used up some of his tire allowance. You see the car wiggling just a little bit getting in?
Yeah, that thing's not under him like it was a few laps ago. He's lost something with it.
So the 2 front row starters have returned to the front 2 spots. 116 laps into this race. And they've got a pretty healthy lead. Let's go back to the race for 6th place here.
Hansen trying to the outside. Here's where he tried it earlier. That outside wasn't that good for him. He gets down on it here again. Car stuck that time. He didn't have to get as far out. Along with the fact that it cleaned the track up a lot.
Yes,
by running
number 12
on it.
of Bruce Yackey is 1 lap down. Got a big distance from 2nd back to 3rd. Brian Germoni and number 5 has moved up into the 3rd spot. And there's Germoni, who's led 3 different races this year. Here's Ralph.
This is Katie Germoni walking back and forth over here. This is Brian's mom. Now, Brian is a former track champion from Ukiah Speedway, and he's a former Southwest Tour Rookie of the Year, but he's never won a Tour race. So Mom is a little nervous that maybe her son Brian will finally find victory lane.
He's in 3rd place right now. And he is just about 2/3 of a straightaway behind the leader.
It's almost like she wants to see, but she doesn't want to see. See how he's doing out there.
Laps next time by. Pole sitter Kurt Rogers back out in front here at Phoenix. We'll be right back. Phoenix International Raceway and the NASCAR Southwest Tour Goodwrench 300.
Mike, it's what I think we're seeing here. They're playing out, seem like the Hoosier tires really take off, run fast. What the key is if they can run for a long run right here. If they can, he's in good shape.
Back behind them, Kurt Rogers and Doug George. In 5th and 6th. Germoni is 7th. And rookie Dale Williams is 8th. Kenny Schrader is 9th. Those cars are all in the lead lap. Dick Trickle is 10th. And Dan Press with Ron Hornaday in relief, 11th. Roy Testa out of South Lake Tahoe. Doug George in that blue 37 chasing Kirk Rogers for 5th.
Battle for the lead up in front. The guys going for the Doug Crawford to run them down right here.
Didn't take him long, did it?
And look come Hanson. You know, they drive by Hanson and all of a sudden he comes back.
There's that fire you were talking about coming out of the back. Got a car.
Here's Schrader going to. Now Schrader just gets his lap back. Since they can't race to the caution, Schrader's in front of this group, so he's back on the lead lap.
That's Ron Esau in the wall. Out of Lakeside, California, the Jack Lee Iron and Metal Chevy. It will give Crawford back the lead, and that is the 9th lead change today.
Oh, got a fire up there in the front. Probably knocked the fuel pump off of it when they hit like that. That's a good time to leave right now when they start smoking.
Yes. Correction, Bell was the leader at the time of the caution, so we do not have a lead change. And out goes Ron Esau. Here's a look at the top 10 as we get set to go back to green. So you'd like a job in television. You know, maybe come out here, run a camera for TNN, maybe collect some souvenirs off one of the race cars. I'd like to be the cameraman at turn number 3 when this happened. Hello, come in. And Ron Esau almost did.
I guess they're going to want hazard pay now.
As soon as he gets the camera off the back of his head, when he took that little dive right there, we'll get back to the action here.
We'll go green this time, and Rick Crawford is back up front. Scott Hansen in 2nd, Terry Henry in 3rd. Doug George is 4th, Brian Germoni 5th. After this round of pit stops, Dale Williams is 6th. 7th is Scott Hansen. Excuse me, 7th is Brett Bell. 8th is Kirk Rogers, and 9th is Ken Schrader. They are all on the lead lap. There's Schrader. Coming up to speed, green flag, and a battle for the lead. Hansen takes it away from Crawford. Going down into turn 1, but did he beat the flag?
That's what I was wondering. The rule is, you know, before you cross the start-finish line, I don't know what it will be for the lead like that. I don't know what the call is.
I think they're calling it racing because I don't see any black flags or anything. Yes, I do, too.
I see one in their hand. I don't know if they're going to use it. Got the flag in their hand, but it did not come out.
Nope. When the green flag waves, you're racing. Wherever it comes out. There's Schrader on the inside, back on the lead lap, as Tim Cahoot predicted. He said, if we can get our lap back, we're going to the front. Here he goes, number 52.
Well, they'll run good if they don't have brakes. They should be able to hurry. But it seems like they did correct that problem. Tim wouldn't have sent him back without getting those pucks and the calipers where he get it slowed down here at the end.
Now, would you go in there 3 wide on the outside?
Absolutely. That's what he gets paid for. That's what a race car driver does.
That's why he gets big bucks.
Well, he's the only guy that's done it all day.
Look here, battle for the lead, back and forth.
Rick Crawford on the inside, Scott Hansen outside.
Boy, Hansen has had some trouble on that outside during the course of the day. Drop back to the inside here.
Crawford's like that high line all day.
Yeah, it seems like sometimes he has trouble. He's a little wider than he wants to, but even when his car's good, he's a little wider than anyone else. Look at the fire feathering out of that car. I wish he wouldn't do that. He made a fool out of me earlier, but here he goes with that fire coming out of the middle of that car. The exhaust is supposed to come out either on the left or the right side. It looks like he's got his on the tailpipe right in the center of the car. Hope he's got an insulated fuel cell.
And floor. There are the leaders. Let's pick up the battle for 4th. Terry Henry. Number 72, the yellow car. Ryan Germoni in number 5. They just passed Sawinski, who's back in the race.
I imagine Mom just made another lap around the pits there.
Yep.
She's going to have to stop her right side shoes if it keeps up.
Ryan's had a good race here today. Number 5. front. He's in 10th place.
You know, Trickle's not had an easy day of it to be in 10th place. He's worked hard all day long. Here's Schrader trying to work his way. Watch this on the outside. That's where he's making his move now. Really, he's found out he can get that car down hard in that outside lane. Still get up off this corner. He's coming on up through him.
That 81 is Keith Spangler, who's 4 laps down. Back to turn 1. You can see that dark patch of asphalt is much wider than it was the start of the race. They're working that groove up the racetrack. And Schrader trails the leader by 9 seconds.
Not necessarily wanted to work that groove, but had to by working around lap cars. During the course of this race, this track's got a little bit wider, the racing lane.
And right up against where the rosin is, up near the top of this new asphalt, that is where Crawford is running. 4th place battle. Henry's doing a good job of holding off Brian Germoni here.
He's been up under him. 5 cars got up under him several different occasions. He can get up there, but he can't go by. Like Brian's made a run at him. Got a little bit hot. Dropped back some distance now. Been running hard for the last 8 or 10 laps. Looks like he's finally pulling away from the 5 a little bit.
And here's Schrader continuing to slice his way through traffic. Remember the restart procedure here. You line up for the restart single file. Where you come out of the pit, it doesn't matter if you're a lap car or lead lap car.
That's Kirk Rogers. He's passing right there, the pole car, and a while ago he's leading the race. Look how close they're coming off that corner. Ooh, he didn't give any room at all.
8th place at stake here.
See, Schrader tries one of these quality cars on the outside. Yep, doesn't seem to matter who it is. Schrader's going to jump out there and go.
They weren't kidding when they said they were going to bring that thing straight to the front.
Well, when you go in on the outside of somebody like that, you take away the racing line from them. So that really, they have to bog the car a lot in the center of the corner because they can't let it wash out.
We're back up front, where Hansen is trying the inside on Rick Crawford.
I'm beginning to think Crawford is one of the guys that's cleaning that upper lane out.
Yes, yeah, and has been since the start of the race. Got him real loose up there once, and again, there's that rosin coming off that right rear that's been applied to the asphalt. It may cost him the lead this time.
Yeah, you can't do that many times and get away with it. Keep hanging out. You'll start burning the tires off the car up there, for one thing.
And about every time that Crawford has lost the lead, it's because he got so high up on the racetrack, the car loosened up on him.
Yeah, I'm sure he's just having to chase his car around a little bit. Whoa, talk about chasing one.
Lap traffic, Bob Lyon. He had a leader coming up on each flank, didn't know which way to go.
Is that what you mean when you say the slower car was the pick?
Well, someplace you call that moving chicane. Not intentional. Lyon was looking to get out of the way of the leader, but which leader do you get out of the way of? They were side by side.
Big Schrader, he's going to have to, now he's been in this corner too wide a lot of times. He's going to get the opportunity to do it 3 abreast now.
Yep, again.
But he cleared him just before he got to the corner. Sometimes you run up on that occasion, situation like that, you drive, makes you drive in the corner deeper than you want to go. He needed to go ahead and hold the throttle up a little bit longer, clear those cars before he got to that corner.
Schrader's in 6th place. He's a straightaway behind the 5th place car, Brian Germoni, who's still trying to get past Terry Henry for 4th and 5th. There's Schrader. Down at the end of that straightaway, you'll see Henry. There's Henry, the yellow car, and Germoni in 5.
You know, you watch Schrader through traffic and you say he goes to the outside and passes cars and does things. He's probably the most active race car driver in the United States. He races somewhere almost every night. And this is just another race to him. He has a, here we go, another lap. Oh, my.
And that car's running good.
Yeah, and I think it's what's got her nervous. He's running so good, she's scaring him now. She doesn't know how good he's running. She has not looked at this race since they dropped the green flag.
Up front, Hansen and Crawford. Hansen runner up here 3 years ago.
Well, here comes Crawford reeling back in.
Yep.
Oh, Crawford's up there in his line again.
must have gone to the Harry Gant School of opening up the high groove.
I don't think Harry teaches that.
Well, he sure was given lessons at Rockingham.
Yes, sir.
Let's check with Ralph.
Mike, the longer the race goes, the better Scott Hansen's car tends to get. That plays to his advantage because the longer it goes, the worse Rick Crawford's car gets. It tends to develop a push, just like it did down in turn 1 a few laps back.
Caution is out for Bo Lemler of Chula Vista, California. His Mark Norris Racing Products Pontiac has let go in the back straightaway. So we are under yellow. We are creeping up on the record, 7th caution of the day.
Boy, how many guys are going to come in for tires here? Well, anybody.
If anybody does, doesn't everybody have to?
Well, what's tough about this is this single file restarts with not being able to pull up to the front.
So there's the car the caution is for, Bo Lemler. There's Brian Germoni. Let's go down to Glenn.
Well, this is Brian's mom, Katie. And Katie, we've been watching for a while. Are you a little nervous?
I'm desperate, yes. I don't like this. Yeah, I'm really desperate. Yeah.
Your son does this full-time, but you don't like it?
No, I don't like it, but I support him, you know.
Well, now, it's hard to imagine the kind of support when you got your head against the fence over here.
Yeah, I know, but, you know, we've had some bad luck, and it's scary, and, you know.
Have you seen any of the race?
I've seen him go by.
Just check and make sure he comes by.
Yeah, the crew knows me. They don't give me earphones or anything because I get, you know, it's not good, but yeah, I keep in touch. So
is this the way it is every race?
This is every race, yeah, every single race. Yeah.
this woman has a really tough life. Boy, I tell you what, if they run for the championship, she's in trouble.
Oh boy. Stay with us. We'll be right back with the restart of the NASCAR Southwest Tour Goodwrench 300. Welcome back to Phoenix International Raceway and the NASCAR Southwest Tour Goodwrench 300. It has been a lengthy caution to clean up oil from the Dan Press car. There are 2 laps to go, and next time they're going green for 1 lap. Glenn?
Looking at Tim Cahoot, that's Schrader's crew chief. He said, man, we want them to go because Schrader can handle dirt. This is going to be like racing on dirt. This string has been scripted for them. They got the car fixed. The cautions fell for them. It's in Schrader's hands now. Ralph?
Biggest problem for Ken Schrader is going to be Hansen's next-door neighbor, Dick Trickle. His good friend might make it difficult for Schrader.
Trickle is a lap down right behind Hansen in the restart lineup. And in turn 4, there is lots of speedy drive. This is turn... Where is this?
3 and 4.
Yes, it is. There is. I didn't see enough speedy drive. There's a lot of speedy drive at turn 4. There is Hansen, the leader. Sorry, we were looking at right between 3 and 4 a moment ago, but you'll see the low groove in turn number 4 is just covered in oil dry.
Mike, they don't need to be worried about other drivers being a problem. They need to worry about fighting this racetrack.
Right.
Full speed with all this stuff on. Look what a start. Everybody went but Trickle.
That'll never go.
Well, Schrader on the outside, green and white. Doug George got hosed on that restart in the blue car. And here comes Crawford in the other blue car, number 4. Down into turn 1 through all the oil dry, and George almost loses it in 37, saves it, but loses a spot. Number 4, Crawford is coming hard. He is the 3rd place car as Schrader tries to run down Hansen, who must tiptoe through turn 4 to win it. He's way outside the oil line. Checkered flag is out after a weird restart. Hansen will win it. Schrader is 2nd.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's not a question about whether he jumped the restart there, because he was not at the white line down here when he restarted this race.
I think one of the biggest problems, the other car didn't go. I think he stopped and held the line up there. It looked like he just didn't go.
Well, that other car was Trickle, who was a lap down right behind the race leader. With these single file restarts, if one car doesn't go, it's real easy to stack up the whole rest of the field. And it may just be coincidence that Trickle was behind Hansen, that they share the same sponsor, that they're neighbors, and that the 2nd and 3rd place cars were behind Trickle. We'll be back with more of the Goodwrench 300 from Phoenix right after these messages. Welcome back to Phoenix International Raceway and the NASCAR Southwest Tour Goodwrench 300. Here's Glenn Jarrett.
Scott Hansen is unbuckling himself in the car. And Scott, we talked to you earlier, so we're going to have to use a little patience. Boy, you had a good day out there.
Sure did. You know, this team did a great job with this car, and I thought we were a little too patient too early. You know, the cars were coming up on us to lap us, and, you know, the car was perfect. Jerry Gunnerman, car owner, Howard Leto, the crew chief, the whole all-star team, you know. Bob Molnar brings us out here every year, does the best he can to bring some new faces out here, and we finally got one.
Well, I know you hated to see that last caution flag, but you really foxed them on that last restart.
I did, you know, I did and I didn't. We got either a loose wheel or something going wrong with the car real bad. There's so much oil dried on there, I wasn't going to wait for a restart. Kenny Schrader's a fantastic dirt track driver, and I didn't need him behind me, so I took off and just give it everything we had.
Well, what he had was plenty enough. He knew the competition. Ralph?
Well, Kenny, tell me about that restart.
I guess Dick had some trouble getting going and messed up the 37 car, and we were able to get a runner in the top. But boy, it was a little shaky up there. They put down an awful lot of oil dry, but good race. You know, run out of time. Guys did a good job getting us fixed so we could get our lap back.
Did you have a problem with the transmission too? You just parked the car over here.
Yeah, it won't back up, and I couldn't find the gate, and it won't start if you shut it off. So we just parked it there. I'm gonna go run my cup car.
Kenny Schrader had a 300-kilometer car, and that's exactly how far it went today.
That's what they always said, the perfect race car disintegrates in winner's circle.
Here's the way they finished at Phoenix today. Scott Hansen is in victory lane, coming all the way from Wisconsin to do it. Missouri driver Ken Schrader is second. From Alabama, Rick Crawford finishes third. California's Doug George is fourth. Brett Bell finishes fifth. Brian Jamoni is sixth. Kirk Rogers, the pole sitter, winds up seventh. Terry Henry is eighth. Dale Williams, the 55-year-old rookie, is ninth and goes into the rookie point lead on this, the final day of the season. And winding up 10th, a lap down, Dick Trickle. For Neil Bonnet and Buddy Baker, Glenn Jarrett and Ralph Shaheen, I'm Mike Joy, congratulating Scott Hansen on a weird, wild win here at Phoenix. So long, folks.
Promotional consideration provided for and a fee paid by this special offer from Diamond P Sports. Coverage of the 1993 GM Goodwrench Delco Battery 300 has been a presentation of Diamond P Sports.